Hey everybody, it's me, it's Joe, and it is the night before Thanksgiving, and I'm doing a stream, because it's Wednesday. Tomorrow is America's most gluttonous holiday, so I thought, what better way to do that, well initially I thought what better way to do that than by playing Overwatch, but nobody else is here yet, and I can't stream Overwatch without my computer bogging down since I don't have it on console. But what I do have is a Switch with Pac-Man on it, and Pac-Man is everybody's favorite eating game about eating. And so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna move my microphone, and I'm gonna play some stuff. I'm gonna look at the holiday sale first, I guess. I opened this and I should buy that, but that's not a very good deal. 16%. Yeah. All right. I'm not worrying about that. I think I actually looked. I am, but I don't want to do that. Let's go back home. All right. So, Namco Museum. I don't know if anybody else is going to show up, but I do have the chat up. So if anybody's watching, oops. Let's change the title.
Hey,
Hey, it's that guy.
it's me.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Great.
I'm sorry I'm 6 minutes late.
You should be. Trying to be
I
prompt
was-
here.
I had some laundry to. I had to switch the laundry.
I had laundry to do. I got it done before I started the stream. You
Well,
big
mine
jerk.
wasn't ready.
So-
It wasn't ready.
Well, too bad.
Hmm.
You should. You live with someone else. You know. Make Miriam go
Yeah.
down there and switch the laundry. Is what I'm saying.
I figured that's what you meant. Yeah. Ooh, I see
so-
your switch
Yeah.
on the.
Yeah. And you should watch the chat too, because I was just saying I'm watching the chat, but now you're here, so you're watching the chat.
All right, I can do that.
And we're gonna. Did I save my game? I just put a bunch of power moons into the ship, so I think that saves my game, right? Right. Okay.
Generally, yeah.
So we're doing some Namco Museum because tomorrow is America's Day of Gluttony. So that's what we're gonna play some Pac-Man.
As opposed to every other day.
Yes. Yes. So this installment of Namco Museum. Usually at this point, I pass over new editions of Namco Museum. Come on. I pass over new editions of Namco Museum because really, what's the point, right? It's usually like the same,
The same
like
5-6 games.
yeah, 5 or 6 games. It's Galaxian, Galaga, Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Rally X, you know, some variant of that. And but this time the Namco did one just for the Switch. It's only available by download, which is kind of lame. I'd like a physical copy. I don't own any physical Switch games yet.
I have Splatoon 2 because I accidentally ordered the physical copy, but that wasn't on purpose.
I actually would like to have. I was gonna have one of the. Wow, it really wants me to read that whole thing. It won't let me pass it without. Oh, come on! It won't let me go to the next screen without scrolling all the way through these like end user license agreements. Yeah, I was gonna have one of the Extra Life goals be for me to taste a Switch cartridge, because apparently they taste really bad, because to discourage toddlers from swallowing them, I guess. But I don't have any Switch cartridges, so
Okay.
yeah. So this one includes, so they mix it up a little bit, right? So this one has Pac-Man, Galaga, Dig Dug, but Tower of Drug is a pretty frequent starring game, which is weird because Tower of Drug is not a very good game.
Yeah.
But Sky Kid is on this one, which is like not that many of these have
I don't
some.
think I've ever played that.
It's a scrolling shooter. Interesting for a couple of reasons. One, when you move up and down, as you can kind of see in the demo here, you actually shoot on a 45-degree angle, up or down.
Okay.
Which actually Tailspin for the NES does that, and that game is like hot shit garbage. So, but Sky Kid is better than Tailspin. And it's also notable because it scrolls right to left, which most scrolling shooters do the opposite. So, yeah, I don't know. It's okay. It's a decent early, like post Gradius, but like pre Life Force, type of affair. Rolling Thunder, which again, like some of these have this game and some don't. Galaga 88 is dope because actually very few of these have Galaga 88. Only a couple of Namco Museums previously have 88. But the thing that really sort of got me to pull the trigger was Splatterhouse. None of the previous Namco Museums have it. It is on
Oh, do you like that series?
I do. Weird, right? I bet you never knew that. The 2010, is that right? 2010 Splatterhouse game includes this as an unlockable on the disc, but it's cool.
I can't believe the first one of these was 88.
Yeah, right. And then Tank Force, which is also like doesn't really. I don't know if it's ever been on one of these. Maybe on one of the harder to find ones for the original PlayStation. But I'm not even sure about that. This might be a completely new entry. And Rolling Thunder 2, which has a port to the Sega Genesis, but the arcade version has never been officially released by Namco on any of these collections either. And actually the reason I bought it, which I didn't end up using it for, was Pac-Man Versus, because it's easier to play Pac-Man Versus using 2 switches than it is like connecting a bunch of GBAs to a GameCube. But we didn't end up playing it during Extra Life. But that's the big reason why I grabbed this. It was $30, which is a little steep. But I had $15 in my account on my Nintendo account already. So it only cost me $15 out of pocket, right now.
So wait, can you do the thing where one person has the cartridge and other people connect?
Yeah, there's a free download. If you go into the Switch eShop, there's a download for like Pac-Man versus multiplayer component or something. So, what I was gonna do if we had done it during Extra Life is, have the ghosts playing on the big screen, and then one person holds another Switch in their hand and is Pac-Man. So, yeah, I never played the DS version, but it does have download play for if you're using a single card, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't mean like the DS. I didn't even realize there was a DS version. I meant like.
Oh yeah, there is.
I didn't know if download play was a thing the Switch can do.
It can't do that. There's just a separate app that you download from the store that's free. That's how it does it. It should do. I wonder if there are any games that do that. I don't know of any. I think all the games that I'm aware of that have multiplayer, there's no like download play option. But yes, Namco Museum DS does include Pac-Man Versus as well. Anyways, I'm gonna play some Pac-Man. Ooh, challenge mode. I'm gonna start with normal mode because I'm pretty good at Pac-Man. Ms. Pac-Man. That's one of my favorite games of all time. But I'm actually not super good at original Pac-Man. Like I don't know all the patterns and all that good stuff. The other thing that's dope about this is if you take the Switch into tablet mode and you put the kickstand up and you put it on its side, the games will play in their correct aspect ratio,
nice.
Like they do on horizontally or vertically oriented arcade monitors, which is dope. So yeah.
Is that what you're doing now?
No, because I have to have it in the thing.
Yeah.
So this is where the Pro Controller's D-pad is super helpful. Because doing this with an analog stick kind of sucks. I'm not sure that the rumble is like strictly necessary in Pac-Man, but it's there.
Yeah, man, it feels like you're there.
in the maze with Pac-Man.
I don't know. I don't know where there is exactly. With
At a rave, maybe? I don't know. There's neon walls and someone eating a bunch of pills, so...
right.
So, yeah, man. What are you playing these days?
I started playing Hitman.
Oh yeah. I wanted to grab that now that there's like a physical version with all the chapters on it, because Eric praised it pretty heavily.
It's always funny to me how good I am at Metal Gear Solid 3 and how bad I am at stealth games more broadly.
Is that because in Metal Gear Solid 3 you weren't stealthy? You just like murdered everyone?
No, I was. Well, I mean, I did, but I was a sneaky murderer. But for whatever reason, other stealth games, it like takes me a good while to get used to them before I can. And this one was no exception. I was really bad.
I've heard that you can do some pretty awesome and hilarious and fun stuff.
Oh yeah, it's definitely hilarious.
Like, there's a lot of, disguising yourself and then like throwing people over balconies and that kind of.
Yeah, you can like. I like dropped some stuff. Like I dropped a boat on top of a guy's head.
Nice. Is it as full of shenanigans as Metal Gear Solid 5? Did you play Metal Gear Solid 5?
I did, but I didn't finish it.
That game is full of shenanigans. Like you can, like the easiest way to deal with Quiet the first time you fight her is to get a supply drop and just like drop it on her head. And
I don't know if it's quite that good, but it's there's definitely shenanigans.
Yeah, that's good. That's
because you can like the mission. I mean, I did a couple starter missions, and the first full mission I was messing around with, like, the dude that you're trying to kill is just walking around at this party, and you can't just like walk up and totally stab him in the gut with a screwdriver, which is what I did the first time.
What happens if you do that? Why can't you do that? Is my question.
His bodyguards. Well, okay, actually, let me rephrase. When I attempted to do that the first time, what happened was first I accidentally punched his bodyguard in the face, and then turned and stabbed this old lady standing next to the guy because I missed.
Okay.
But
good job.
But you can also like unscrew the speaker system so they'll drop on him as he walks under them.
Nice.
Or like you can poison this food because there's these hors d'oeuvres that. Well, yeah, like I don't know if you can do his drink yet, but there's a part where you can walk in the back room in the kitchen if you're like dressed as a waiter, and he goes in and screams that he ordered these special hors d'oeuvres that nobody was ordering because they were disgusting, and he wanted them like out on the floor. So I'm pretty sure if you poison him, he's the one who will eat them.
Right. So
but I haven't found the poison yet.
You'll see that I can rotate the screen at any time. But if I do, whoa, it'll go upside down if I want it to.
You just stream with your head sideways.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Change the display settings. What options does it give me? Okay, I can.
Oh yeah,
mess
play
with the
upside
aspect
down.
ratio. Let's not do that. I can zoom. Let's not do that. Fixed dot size displays the game using dots of a set size. Adjustments to the okay, I got it. Scan lines. I hate these scan line filters. If Eric was here, he'd know what I was talking about. Okay, that goes back to that option. We're not doing that. Oh, hey, you can change the backgrounds. Okay. All right. That's. You can just go with plain gray. I think I'm just to do that, just to mix it up a little bit. Game setting. HD Rumble. Let's turn that off. Select round. Number of lives. Okay, so you can mess with the dip switches, but it messes with you can't do the online leaderboards if you do that, apparently. Round 256 bug. So the bug is off. You can get past the kill screen, apparently. Reset high score. Reset game settings. Back. What are the controls? Tell me the controls of Pac-Man.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, there's extreme mode where you can only eat the pills if you mash the button.
That sounds terrible. All right, so let's do this. I'm not gonna play a ton of Pac-Man. I'm gonna play some of the other games on this compilation, but I wanted to start with Pac-Man because, like I said, tomorrow's Gluttony Day here in the United States. So, but yeah, Hitman. I like the. I don't know. I feel like at some point stealth games got a bad rap from people. Like all of a sudden everybody hated stealth games.
Yeah.
Because they require more doing than just like running up to things and mashing a button to kill it or whatever. Right. I don't know. But I like stealth games, quite a bit. And the Hitman series is one that I've like flirted with, and I guess the entries that I've played just like were not the best entries. I guess
this is my first experience with it.
Yeah, I mean the ones that I've played, I was always just kind of lukewarm. Like I was like, I would much rather be playing Metal Gear.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though like it's different. You're not like assassinating people and hiding their bodies.
Yeah, it seemed like a third rent. Like,
damn.
It didn't have the personality. I mean, you're literally like a bald, faceless dude.
Right. I saw the movie though, the first movie. Wow, that was terrible. With Timothy Olyphant, and it's actually one of the less bad video game movies. Yeah. I mean, it's not good, but it's like okay. So we're gonna switch away from Pac-Man now. Ms. Pac-Man is so much better than Pac-Man. It's hard to even elaborate on that anymore. Let's do Sky
Where the hell is my Ms. Pac-Man CEDX?
I don't know, man. What is the? I'm gonna do challenge mode on Sky Kid. I'm gonna see what that is. Compete for a high score on the final stage. Oh, so like literally, there is a challenge that you're supposed to do. I'm not going to do that well, though, because I have not played the first several stages in a long time. So, that's going to be a problem. And you can crash into the pine trees. So, yeah, I don't, it's not a series that I'm bad at Sky Kid, apparently. It's not a series that I'm super acquainted with, and like I said, I've flirted with it. I think I played like the last one that came out on the PS2, maybe was the one that I played, and I was just like, this is not like offensive, but like it's not great. I would rather play Metal Gear Solid 3 or whatever.
Yeah, same. That's like I said, it was just this one. So many people were so complimentary. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I heard the right things about it's a good stealth game, and also you can do stupid stuff.
Right. So that has like panned out in a way that you find satisfactory.
So far, it's pretty all right. I mean,
this is ridiculous. I'm gonna try playing this game from like stage 1 because. This is.
Yeah, it's not exactly going well.
Yeah, no. Are we buddies on the Nintendo Network thing?
I have no idea. We'll find out.
Because I noticed that I'm not with Eric, and if he was here, I was going to ask him like, "Hey, man."
What's the deal?
We should be buddies on this thing. Well, I mean, the deal is that like there's really not anything. There's not a lot of stuff heretofore there is not a lot of stuff to play on it.
Yeah, we all played Splatoon, which is the only reason I added anybody. Oh, we are. You're playing Namco Museum. I see it.
Nice.
Oh man, I can make you my
Super
best
Mario
friend.
Odyssey. Really?
There's if I go onto your profile, there's a button that says best friends.
Wow.
Here we go. I just made you my best
now?
friend, Joe.
Wow. I'm flattered.
How you became, this is awesome. How you became friends. You apparently added me. Oh, on the Wii U. When we became friends. Halloween of this year.
I added you on my Wii U on Halloween of this year?
That's what this says.
That.
At 1:40 a.m.
Is that when you finally accepted my friend request, maybe?
Yeah, that might be. Oh, yeah, probably, because I was on Halloween. I was on West Coast time, and I was playing Mario.
I'm gonna say, so I sent you a...
Oh my gosh, I was already best friends with Eric.
Eric's not even regular friends with me. This is bullshit. So it's kind of garbage that, like...
That's all right. Mike's not my best friend.
Mike's not your best friend, you said?
No.
No.
Don't tell him.
Yeah, so this game is okay. I'm gonna try one more time, but it's like,
oh, it's interesting.
There are games of a certain, like, I often, you know, poo-poo people who say like, oh, old games aren't good or old games aren't fun, but I do feel like there are certain games in certain genres that, like, once they get past their sell-by date, you know, and it's just like,
yeah,
there's just too many games that have surpassed like what this game is.
Yeah.
You know, to for me to really want to spend a ton of time with this game is the thing. Like, it's like, even Gradius, like, there's a lot of this type of game that do more interesting and unique things, including most of the entries in the Gradius series that aren't the first one. I just flew into the ground. That it's just like, I don't know, like, this is fine, but there's no power-ups to speak of besides the bomb that you get to kill the target at the end of the level. And it's just, I don't know, there's just not a lot to it. You know, and I think that, like I said, Ms. Pac-Man is one of my favorite games, and that's because there has not really been a game in the maze chase genre that has ever really surpassed Ms. Pac-Man, in my opinion. Like, Pac-Man Championship Edition DX is, you know, up there. I think those games are different enough, though, that, like, oh god, you know, that it makes sense for both of those games to sort of exist side by side. Because Pac-Man Champion Edition is, like, much different than Pac-Man. Like, it's all about patterns. You know what I mean? It's not just about, like, avoid the ghosts, get the fruit, and, like, finish the maze. It's like, oh god, it's like, you know, it's like, do these specific patterns, build up as many ghosts chasing you as possible, and then, like, combo the shit out of these ghosts. That's really what that game is about. And so I think it's different than Ms. Pac-Man enough. But something like this, it's just like, yeah, this game is fine, but, like, there are a lot of games in this genre that are a lot better than this one. And if I was gonna play, like, a vintage shoot, like, I still think Galaga holds up pretty well.
What's it gonna be? I'm watching you put in your letters right now. Jog. Oh. Jode.
What am I trying to do here? Options. So I like that I can rotate the screen 90 degrees even on games that don't have a vertically oriented monitor. But that is cool that you can just set up, if you're traveling, you can just put the kickstand up and do that thing. Let's do some of the more offbeat stuff. could spend
I
a lot
don't
of time
think
in
I've
a
ever
Splatterhouse.
played. What's that next game after Sky Kid? Rolling Thunder.
Rolling Thunder. You never played Rolling Thunder, really?
I think so.
That's like a. It was ported to every damn thing under the sun, including the NES, and it's on a couple of the other Namco museums. You never. Well, all right, let's do that then, just because you're not familiar apparently. Although this is also one of those games like I was just talking about, where it's like, yeah, this game is like pretty good, but you know, it's not really. Why is who decided that the default control scheme should be A shoots and B jumps? What is wrong with you people?
Oh.
Game settings. Controls. Configure buttons. Yes, we are going to configure these damn buttons. A is going to be jump. B is also going to be jump. Y is going to be shoot. Because what the hell? What kind of monsters are you? That's better. Yeah, this is so Shinobi like pretty much immediately cribbed from this game.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of executed it better, I think.
I like that the bodies melt away.
Yeah, these guys melt when you shoot them. I mean, it's not that it's not fun, because it is still fun. There's power-ups and stuff, but it's just like there are a lot of games like this game that are better than this game.
I'm into this art style, though.
I do like the art style. I like the music, too. The music's really good. And the way that Albatross hops over the railing when he jumps up to the higher level.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty great.
I mean, he's basically, what, Lupin the Third?
Yeah, kind of. He's supposed to be a secret agent, not a thief, but, I mean, yeah, he's kind of...
But same style, anyways.
Yeah, he's got that... He's very tall and, like, lanky, which you don't see in a lot of game heroes. I feel like
they're all, like,
fires
Mario.
his gun, yeah, I mean, like, the Golgo 13 games on NES, he's very, like, tall and skinny. Like, the way he fires his gun is very James Bond, right? Like,
yeah, definitely.
That animation, it's almost like someone just, like, they rotoscoped it from Sean Connery.
Well, I don't know. I think he looks more like a Roger Moore.
Ugh. But Roger Moore is, like, the worst James Bond.
I think at least a couple of the guys that were only in like one of them were pretty bad.
Only one guy was in one of them, and I had this debate with someone not that long ago, and I will still say that I think George Lazenby is a better James Bond than Roger Moore. And I know that some people...
Who else? And Dalton was what, two
Dalton
of them?
had two. I think Dalton's a better James Bond than Roger Moore.
I just like Dalton though.
Yeah, I mean Dalton's pretty great. Man, I just watched this video about Hot Fuzz. And how great it is, and I was like, that movie is really great. To the point where I'm like, I need to revisit this movie because I feel like I have like previously sort of ranked it as my least favorite of the Cornetto trilogy, and I think
oh dude, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite, just like full stop, one of my favorite movies.
I feel like I need to rewatch it because I think the more that I think about it and all the times that I reference it and all the things that I like about it, I'm like, maybe it actually secretly is my favorite of the Cornetto. I mean, I own it. I own like the 3-disc collector's DVD and everything. And also you can get the whole Cornetto trilogy on Blu-ray for like $13 in like a triple pack.
Whoa, what is that guy?
That's the he's the bad.
Where's
he's
the
main
the merman from was the mer monster from the Universal horrors characters?
The creature from the Black Lagoon?
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the bad guy in this?
No,
Does this take place in that cinematic
like a
universe?
Goblin than a Gillman creature. But I think you actually fight his face on that computer screen at the end, if I remember correctly. I don't know that I've ever actually beaten this game because it gets like pretty tough. As you can see, like I haven't even made it past the first stage yet. But it gets pretty tough because enemies start to kind of
way into this art style though.
Yeah, I like the art style.
Did that guy just throw his gun at you?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he shot at me. Maybe he threw his gun at me.
I feel like their bullets are shaped like tiny guns.
Well, a guy just threw a grenade at me, but like you wouldn't have seen that yet.
No.
And then a dude punched me to death. So if you bump into enemies,
Spoilers.
You take a little damage. Yeah, sorry. Well, the people who are watching just saw it as it happened. We saw it as I said it, so it's not really a spoiler. You take a little damage in this game if you bump into dudes like I just did, and you take a whole bunch if you
get shot.
If you get shot or punched, or like if you get attacked.
Oh man, I don't know. You just
basically
jumped onto that guy and lost like half your health.
Yep, that's bumping into someone.
So it's not.
Which is like
it's
weird.
Not. It's
because I feel like I should if I jump on someone. See, that dude just came out of a door and touched me, and there's no way to avoid that.
Right.
Because if you're in the middle of your shooting animation, you can't. Like by the time the door opens,
they should remake this game.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that because they did a comic because like Namco did a bunch of web comics of their old stuff a couple years ago. Do you remember that? Remember what I'm talking about?
Vaguely.
Shifty Look or something it was called. It was just like a website of like comics of old Namco games, including this one. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're gonna make new entries and all the like. This is like to see how interested people are, and then they're gonna make like new versions of all these games." But not so. I don't think with any of them actually. I think they all were just like, "Nope, it's just comics." But this game actually got 2 sequels. One in the arcade, which I will show everybody momentarily because it's on this collection, as I mentioned earlier, and one that was just on the Genesis. Because man, come on, that's bullshit. All right, so speaking of that, I'm going to show you the other. Hey, I got the #1 high score though on my own copy of this game. But we'll go on to Rolling Thunder 2. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those games where it's sort of like a remake wouldn't be bad, potentially. But you know, I'm also the guy who thinks that the Splatterhouse remake was good, so I guess take that for what it's worth. Oh, change. I just go to change game. Change game. Oh, that's nice. I wish I had noticed that earlier. I had to go all the way back to that main screen. Not that this game takes a long time to load. Let's go to Rolling Thunder 2. That is also very James Bond flyer art. You can see the woman on the right with it's like body paint of Albatross covering her. No, not the year 1909X.
A lot of stuff goes down in that year.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy year.
Yeah, and 2000 OX and 20XX. There's stuff happening all over the place there. The Geldra organization has returned, and so the elite agents of Rolling Thunder are thrown into the fray. So I like that I never remember the female agent's name, but she is like, you know, she's Layla or Albatross. You know, Layla is like just the most quintessentially 80s hot, you know, like
yeah.
She's got the white leggings and high heels and like the tunic style shirt with a belt around the waist of the shirt. It's just, you know, it's like,
oh man, this game is way uglier than the other game.
Yeah, it's a lot less what's what I'm looking for.
Art style.
Yeah, it's a lot less art style.
Yes, that's the phrase.
It's a lot less streamlined than the first game.
Yeah.
Right. The first game, I think, and that probably is a function of the technology, right? Like they would have made the first game uglier if they had the technology to make it uglier.
Right.
I mean, that's sort of the crisis of modern games, right? Modern big budget games is like very few companies seem interested in. Oh, that's right. I can't shoot while jumping in this game, which is bullshit. You know, very few modern game companies. They all want to do, you know, realistic looking graphics. They don't want to have any sort of stylized, you know.
Oh, hey, now you're playing Sunset Riders.
This game is not as good as Sunset Riders.
Oh, no, it's not.
How was I supposed to know there was a dude in that bucket? That dude popped his head out.
Give them more quarters.
Yeah, right. So there are a lot of games that I feel like end up uglier than they need to be these days because they're going for a realistic style and they can't pull it off because they can't afford to, but they refuse stubbornly to do a stylized thing. But the Amazon delivery man is here and my dogs are going mental. So apologies for that. So they refuse to do anything stylized, and they end up with an uglier game. And I feel like games, there are modern games. The Wii, I think, did a really good job of games that were stylized that looked really great. Stuff like No More Heroes and Mad World. Like Mad World looks fantastic, especially if you play it, upscaled on a Wii U or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Game looks great. But no AAA publishers want to do that kind of stuff. Only indie games get stylized art these days. So, which I guess is fine because I like indie games too. I think I play more indie games than I do AAA games these days.
Yeah, I think that's true for most people.
I don't know if it's true of most. It's probably true of most people.
Most people I know. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, not true in general.
It does my heart good that the Switch is doing so well, though.
Yeah, it's doing.
And indie games sell really well on it, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that. Did you read the article from? There's a Polygon article today by Ben Kuchera talking about.
Yeah, maybe that's what I read.
Or I think there was also a thing on US Gamer about. Oh, there was a thing on US Gamer about Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 coming in a package to the Switch, and that was like one of their things was like everything sells well. This is the real test because this game is like literally available on every console, since the original 3DS.
Right.
Like this game has been made available. And so if people buy it on the Switch, then that's like true illustration of the Switch's ability to sell software. Especially since, Capcom was one of the more tepid entrants into the Switch library. Like they did the Street Fighter game, which was just an update of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, but like with one extra character, right? Violent Ken or something was the only. Or maybe it was Evil Ryu and Violent Ken, which is just like the worst naming convention ever. And then they did Monster Hunter. They did a port of like Monster Hunter XX or whatever. I don't know. I know nothing about Monster Hunter, so. But then that was a thing.
I don't think anybody really likes Monster Hunter.
No one I know. If Coffee was here, he could tell us all about it, but
he's not.
But he's not. So. That was their thing. But the thing on Polygon was about like, stuff is all selling really well, and it's all this withered technology approach from Nintendo. They're so clever, and I was kind of like, you're right about that, but also like,
hasn't that been their approach?
That has been their approach. Well, I mean, really since the Game Boy, right? Like the original Game Boy, but then like the Super NES and the GameCube and the N64, I guess, were all moving away from. Right approach, but then even I don't know anything about Tank Force except that it's supposed to be good, by the way. So we're checking out Tank Force now.
Great, do it. But this is the only one. But like, this was the argument for the Wii and even the Wii U.
Right.
But the Wii was like a weird lightning in a bottle. Grandma's bought it, but it wasn't so great for like publishers, I think.
Well, I mean, it must have been good for some publishers because those shovelware folks were all
oh
over
sure,
that.
yeah.
And even bigger publishers like Capcom released a bunch of stuff, including like they did a really sort of crappy version of Dead Rising. Whoa,
right.
Whoa, that was ridiculous. Oh, that was bonkers. I just like drove over a thing and a plane just exploded everything. Yeah. But the thing that's weird to me is that I predicted like I had a tweet a couple months before the Switch came, like right after they revealed it, when that first trailer dropped of like, this is what this thing is, which I think most people had a sense of like what this thing was going to be, based on, patent filings, etc. But I was like, oh yeah, this thing is going to be super successful. Like it's going to sell bonkers, gangbusters, and be more successful than, stuff like the Super NES even. And like now I feel like a lot of people were like, I was so like there's people who are eating crow because they thought it was going to be junk and no one would buy it.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I was not like bullish enough on the Switch. Like I underestimated the appeal of this thing because it's already going to outsell, it's on track to outsell the Wii U by the end of its first year on the market.
Right.
And I'm shocked that we have not seen a version of Smash Brothers for Wii.
Yeah, I
figured
Switch. They would have just. Yeah, exactly. I thought they would have just like added a character or two and.
Yeah, or just like put all the DLC, like all the DLC is included or something.
Right.
And yeah, same, because it's like they did Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Splatoon 2, from what I understand, is basically just Splatoon 1 with like some extra maps. And like one or two extra guns, maybe?
I think it's a little more than that. But
not much more.
If Coffee wanted to unmute his mic and tell us, then
oh, he's here?
He is here.
Oh, hey, buddy.
That's why I was making those comments about him a minute ago.
Well, he's an even bigger stupid jerk if he's lurking and not talking to us. What a dick. Is anybody posting in the chat at all? Warning. What's the warning? What am I being warned about? Don't just say warning. You have to be specific, game. Oh, they're getting to my base. I get it.
Why Signal said, man, the Wii was like 11 Thanksgivings ago.
Yeah, it was. It was exactly 11 Thanksgivings ago.
That is shocking.
It was exactly 11 Thanksgivings ago. I remember I had pre-ordered one at a locally owned, like a mom and pop shop, and they called me like a week before and were like, oh yeah, we're not getting as many Wiis as we like pre-sold for, so like you're boned. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I'm like, I was trying to support like a local business instead of GameStop, and you've basically just incentivized me to go to GameStop because you just boned me on this thing. And I have a friend who at the time was a manager at a GameStop. Not at all close to where I lived, but on Wii launch day, he called me up and he was like, hey, do you still need a Wii? And I was like, yeah, why? He's like, well, I called someone about this one that was reserved, and she was like, I didn't reserve that. I don't know what you're talking about. So I got an extra one, and I was like, bruh. I was like, what else do you have? I was like, what else do you have available? He's like, well, they also reserved a copy of Twilight Princess, and they're not picking up. I'm like, dude, hook me up with, with that. And so I drove all the way out to like the far north. Like I lived in the south side of the city of Milwaukee, and Homeboy's store was on like the northwest suburbs, like way the hell out there. And I was like, I'll be out there in like 40 minutes, like hold it for me. And I drove out there and picked it up. But yeah, that was 11 Thanksgivings ago that the Wii was a new thing.
My buddy was he worked at a Toys R Us.
Was it Dominic?
And was like, no.
Okay. Was it Alex?
No.
Was it Shivan?
No, I don't.
Do I know this person?
I don't believe you do.
Okay, I'll stop asking questions if it's not somebody I know.
I'm here now.
Hey, it's Mark.
It wasn't Coffee either.
What were you
That's
getting
a
mad
broken
at?
ass game. Destiny.
Oh.
Broken ass game.
Who's that?
It's a game where you try to do PvP and the game just randomly drops your inputs because of lag.
That'll teach you to do PvP. Maybe you're playing against someone who's a cheater.
I'm playing
cheater.
against a game company that doesn't know how to port fucking games to the PC.
Well, that's your
Also,
bad for
you're
buying
completely
it on
wrong
PC.
about Monster Hunter, Anthony. Fuck you.
What did I say? I just said that I didn't know anybody that knew anything about it.
It's true. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, that's right. Just took you down a peg.
I just buy them because consumerism.
Consumerism.
But yeah, my buddy was like, "All right, I can guarantee you one."
Yeah, like Coffee couldn't even drive a car yet
like two games
when the Wii came out.
I actually waited in line for the Wii, and I regret it.
Why? It's a weird thing to regret 11 years later.
I know.
Why do you regret it 11 years later?
Because it fucking rained on me while waiting in line for 6.5 hours.
Wow, man.
Oh, I thought you meant you like regretted the system.
Oh yeah, that too. Fuck Nintendo, am I right?
What have they ever done for you?
Yeah, what did they ever do to you? For you?
Nothing. That's what.
Okay, we got about 10 minutes left. I did the tank thing. I think. Oh no, requesting immediate support. Please lead us to victory. Oh, it wants me to continue. Yeah, I'm not going to continue. Sorry. Yeah, the Wii is you know, it's a retro system by many standards now, which is weird. It's weird to think about.
But the Wii U, like the thing about you can just keep playing if someone else needs the TV.
Yeah.
Like instantly sold me on that, and like not enough people seem to really get that. But now that it's portable, also,
right? That's the.
I feel like everyone's like, "Oh man."
Well, also,
yeah, but like
people were super confused about what the Wii U was. That is Nintendo's marketing was a big problem because people thought it was a tablet that you connected to your existing Wii and that you would be able to take it with you. You know, like Switch style, and when they found it just was not a good. It was not clear what the hell was going on with the Wii U. I think.
I mean, it was clear to me, but
well, right. It was clear to dorks like us, but like it wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't clear.
But this time around, they're like, fine, we'll do that then.
Just do that thing. Yeah, I don't know the Wii U. And the other one that I'm actually surprised hasn't not made its way to the Wii U yet is or the Wii U to the Switch yet from the Wii U is Mario Maker.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I feel like you have named 2 games that'll be out by this time next year.
Yeah, I mean, given
like I feel like we will see both of those things rather than new ones.
I mean, it serves to reason, right? Like it just. Well, I mean, you know, we're gonna see a new Smash eventually, but yeah, it just seems like they're not gonna do one this early in the cycle. So instead, they'll re-release the one. Or maybe it's because it's on 3DS that they don't feel like they have to do that for the Switch. I don't know. I'm really bad at Galaga 88, as it turns out. Really bad at a lot of these games. I like the flyer art though. Flyer art's dope. Old arcade flyer art is like often pretty dope, as it turns out. But yeah, I think that we'll see some more like Mario Kart 8 and oh, that's why we were rattling Coffee's cage. Like Coffee, how similar do you think Splatoon 2 is to Splatoon? Like, is it really Splatoon 2 or is it like Splatoon 1 with
Splatoon 1.5, but more balanced. Splatoon 1 balance was a fucking nightmare, and they actually balanced it this time around, so it's more fun.
No, that's good. That actually makes me kind of want to check it out, because by the time I stopped playing Splatoon 1, I was sort of like, wow, everybody sort of figured out what, like, loadouts are good?
Yeah, the loadout was up your attack, so you do double the amount of damage. That was the strategy of Splatoon 1.
Right.
And they completely removed that skill, so you actually have to be good at the game now.
But what about all
Plus
those scrubs who like aren't good at the game?
They're like 5 years old.
Or me.
Or Anthony, so 5 years old.
He's 5 years
no,
old.
No, they're doing a big update on Friday, so I might play again.
Didn't you say that they're adding like one of the clothing options that you used?
So they're adding a brand new game mode, like that hasn't been in the previous game.
Oh, nice!
It's unique to this game.
That's Galactic
they're
Dancing.
Yeah, Galactic Dancing's the name of it. No.
Galactic Dancing.
They're adding new hairstyles, which people have been like begging for since day one.
Like Ted Dancing.
Yep.
Yes.
Ted Dancing,
Galactic
the Squid Kid.
Ted Dancing.
It's my favorite.
It's the crossover of Cheers and Galaga and Splatoon. Everybody never knew they wanted.
They're adding 4 hairstyles, which everyone wanted since day one. So that's cool that they can actually do that. They're adding the best fucking map in Splatoon, which I was very upset the game didn't launch with.
I was gonna say I thought all the maps from Splatoon were in there originally, but
no, there's like a handful, but the most recent like weekly updates have been bringing the older maps back into rotation with some changes to balance them. And Walleye Warehouse is hands down the best Splatoon map. It's the 2 Fort of Splatoon.
Nice. Nice.
And
2 Fort is still the best Team Fortress 2 map, so
they're adding
I don't think that's right.
140 new clothing options.
Do you like better? I still feel like the game is at its peak when you're playing with a bunch of people who aren't douchebags and you're playing on 2 Fort. Like that is.
But I feel like
Team Fortress 2 experience.
But I feel like 2 Fort just is a draw to such an extent most of the time. It just kind of drags out in an uninteresting way.
I mean, if the two teams are like incredibly equally matched, I suppose that's probably true, but I don't know. I feel like 2 Fort is the quintessential Team Fortress experience.
I mean, I won't argue with that.
But so this is just bolstering my initial argument, which is like that the Switch has basically been able to subsist at least in part on re-releases of Wii U games because nobody owned a Wii U except for me and Anthony apparently.
And me, yeah.
You know, which again, it was why I'm surprised that we got what the hell? You know, I'm surprised that we got Mario Kart as early as we did and Splatoon 2 as early as we did. And then
I'm actually kind of glad with how that panned out. Like I feel like it was great that Nintendo had made like a totally new franchise and it was really good.
Splatoon we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm glad that they decided to go with that first.
I'm very happy that all the DLC is free for a year.
Yeah, that's pretty swell.
I think Splatoon 2 got free DLC for 2 years, or Splatoon 1 got free DLC for 2 straight years, so they need to do more of that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
everybody likes free DLC, right? I mean, that's duh. Speaking of DLC, I think it's totally bogus, by the way, that apparently, like, if I want the costumes for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I have to buy those, even though I bought the stupid collector's edition, which was like $30 more expensive. I just get the characters. I have to buy the costumes separately for like an extra, another extra $20 or something.
Capcom got you again.
Like, I thought that the costumes were included in the
Nope.
in the special edition, but no,
Nope.
that's not the case.
You just get your Easter eggs.
Yeah, you get I got the 4. I don't remember if they were pre-order costumes or if they were for the special edition, but there's like a Gladiator Hulk and Gladiator Thor and Evil Ryu and one other one, and then there's the PS4 version gets like the Major Danvers outfit for Captain Marvel, where she's in like the bomber jacket. But then like you have to, if you want all the like normal DLC costumes, you still have to buy them, which is bogus. But not as bogus as loot boxes. That's a hot topic. Am I right, fellas?
You're right.
Splatoon's adding loot boxes on Friday.
Are they really?
Splatoon is?
No.
I didn't say. I don't believe that, but I guess But this whole this Star Wars thing is just,
I haven't been following it at all. Because I'm basically immune to loot boxes because I will never pony up for them.
Right. Same. Well, apparently you should never bother playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 because it's based around an entire ecosystem of loot boxes, from what I understand.
Gee darn, I was planning to play that otherwise.
Yeah. So I basically people are saying like it's essentially the argument is that it's like gambling. Loot boxes in general are like gambling. But Star Wars Battlefront 2 was taking it to such a degree that like the state legislature of Hawaii had like some of the state senators had a press conference where they were basically accusing EA of like hooking kids on gambling, by way of this Star Wars video game. And like the Belgian, whatever the Belgian body is that oversees video games and media, like they're looking into it because they're saying like it's sort of like they feel it's too much like gambling, and all this kind of stuff, which it kind of is, right? Like you pay money and you might get a thing.
Yeah.
Which is the thing that's totally fucking bogus about loot boxes in a non-free-to-play game, right? Or any, like, I will give them a pass for cosmetic shit.
See, I totally like loot boxes in Overwatch, except for, again, I don't pay for them.
Right. I'll never throw down
but
money
like
for
the fact that like, ooh, I don't know what I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna get something.
Right.
Like it does like kind of. I've lost count of the number of times where I've played and been like, I'm so close. I'll play one more match tonight.
Yep.
But that's totally different from like, oh, I'll drop another $1.
Right.
It feels different.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. So, but like Capcom came out and said like the next Monster Hunter, whatever the next Monster Hunter is, they're like it will not have.
Monster Hunter has never had paid DLC. It does the same thing Splatoon and everything does, where it does free updates and free DLC.
Right, but
for a year.
The guy the director of the latest one apparently felt it. Someone asked him in an interview or something, or he felt necessary to say like, because the thing that I don't like about them is when you're talking about non-cosmetic loot boxes, stuff like Star Wars, where like you get Darth Vader out of a loot box, is it changes the way the game is played. And the guy who's directing Monster Hunter was like, he's like, we designed the game around how you acquire your gear and your loot, and if we added a system like that, it would break the thing that we did this in a certain way on purpose, and putting that in would change the way that works, and we don't want to do that.
Let me tell you about Rafi and rubies.
Yeah, man. Tell me.
Rafi's what?
Yep, Rafi's
banana phone rubies.
Yep.
Ring, ring, ring.
Thank
rubies.
you.
Monster Hunter is a loot crate because you'll farm the same monster like 600 times and never get that one fucking drop you need to make his armor.
Right, but that's like, I mean, how many games have an element of that, right? Like, how many of us have farmed those weird fucking monsters in Symphony of the Night to get the Chrysogrim sword or whatever, right? Like, it's like the Smoo.
They made the drop rates better over time. Like it's a running gag. It's not as bad as people make it out to be, but back when it was on the PSP, it was fucking horrible. It was the worst.
Yeah, it's just a series that I've never gotten into.
You should play the new one.
Is the new one the best one, or like?
It's the most user friendly.
that the same thing?
Right, I was just gonna say that doesn't necessarily.
It actually teaches you how to play Monster Hunter instead of going, all right, go. Here's a sword. Go fight monsters.
I thought that was what Monster Hunter was. Go hunt monsters.
Yeah, but the game doesn't actually teach you how to play. It literally throws you in a village and goes, all right, figure everything out. Bye.
Well,
I think 4 was the first game that actually tried to do somewhat of a tutorial. But this one literally has button prompts on the screen. It says, push this fucking button to swing your sword.
Alright. I mean, it's just like, it's a more action-y version of like a Pinata Monsters game, right? Like, it's rather than like just click on this thing until it dies, there's actual like combat involved.
Yes.
Right?
But
it's still game. Like, kill all these things until they drop cool stuff.
You generally only fighting one guy. I like saying it's sort of like it's kind of like a Mega Man game where you're fighting the monsters to get their armor, which will give you a better chance at fighting other monsters. So, for example, if you fight the fire guy, you make the fire guy's armor.
In Mega Man, you know that when you kill the Robot Master, it's going to drop the thing, because that's literally.
Well, when you first fight the monster, you're going to get those things. The thing is, when you're upgrading your armor and weapons, that's when it starts to be a loot grind. So once you get into like the higher level weapons, then you have to grind. But in the very early stages of the game, it kind of throws everything at you just to give you a chance to try it out.
Gotcha. Okay.
So most of the people bitter about the drop rates are the people doing like G rank shit.
Right. Okay. Well, I feel like I should try one of those games at some point. Like, if all these people are into it, there might be something to it. Of course, there are a lot of other games that a lot of people are into.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you have a PS4, right?
I do have a PS4, yes.
The demo comes out on the 9th.
Oh.
Wait, is it going to be on the Switch?
No.
There is one coming to the Switch.
Why are we talking about it?
There is one coming to the Switch.
I thought there was. Monster Hunter...
It came out in August, and it's not coming to North America because it sold poorly.
Well, fortunately, the Switch is a region-free system, so you could just...
Yeah, I have it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. It's fun. It's the exact same game I played a year ago, but on the Switch.
There you go. All right, and on that note, it's about 5 minutes.
Hey, I have a question before you leave.
Okay.
There's a Steam sale going on.
Yeah, there is. I bought a couple things.
Did you ever play Hotline Miami 2?
I did. It's not nearly as good as Hotline Miami 1.
Okay.
I never finished it. I'll put it that way.
So was it worth like $5?
Yeah, probably. It's sort of the Super Mario, like the Japanese Super Mario Brothers 2, like the lost levels of Hotline Miami. It's just like, here's a bunch of really stupidly hard levels of Hotline Miami and like a ridiculously convoluted storyline that I just could not bring myself to give a single shit about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly care about that.
But like, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of like text dumps and conversations, and you switch perspectives between different characters, which is sort of annoying, and it got too ambitious for the Hotline Miami game. And like I said, most of the levels are just like, there was one level where like it's very clear there is a solution to this level, and then you figure out that solution and then you beat the level. But it's like, the earlier games, I felt like sort of...
Yeah, that's not what's fun about that game.
Right. The first game, the levels all had an element of like, well, I can try this way and try this way and try this way. But like, literally, there's one stage I'm thinking of where it's like, you have to wait till the dude's on the other side of the door, kick in the door, take his gun, shoot these two dudes, whip the gun at this other dude who's on the other side of the room, and then like sprint over there and grab his gun before this dude notices you. And like, if you don't do it in this exact order, you're not going to beat the stage. And that like, to me, is not super fun. Like, it depends on the game, I guess, and how much of that there is, but there was too much of it in Hotline Miami 2, I thought.
Got it.
I don't know. It was
to me,
it was a
feel
disappointment.
like I should save my $5.
I mean, I loved Hotline Miami 1.
I did too.
And I was left feeling pretty cold on Hotline Miami 2. So,
all right,
that's. But I mean, again, like $5. I don't know. I paid 15 or 20. I paid full price, I think, for the PS4 version, whatever full price is, and I
know people weren't as into it, which is kind of why I resisted.
Yeah. I don't know. For $5, I guess it's worth finding out for yourself. You might like it.
Yeah, probably.
I bought Deadly Tower of Monsters, which is a game I'd had my eye on for a long time, and it was like $3. So I was like, well, damn.
What's it called?
Deadly Tower of Monsters. It is
I've heard
from the Xenoclash people.
Yeah.
And it's like a 50s B sci-fi movie. Like it's sort of like an overhead action game that is a 50s sci-fi movie, which is sort of ticks a lot of boxes for me. So, and then I bought Stories Untold was the other thing that I bought.
What is that?
Eric and I played a little bit of it for the Halloween stream, so if you go to the YouTube channel, you can check out the video of us playing.
Oh, excuse me. Hotline Miami 2 is $3.74.
You may as well for that.
Yeah.
Stories Untold is like it's like an adventure game. It's an episodic, almost like an anthology adventure game. There's 4 stories, and I guess they're eventually connected in some way, but when you start playing each of them, you don't know how they're connected.
Okay.
And so there's these 4 stories, and they're very sort of limited perspective adventure games. They're indie games. They were made on a budget.
Yeah, I'm just looking at these pictures of it now.
Yeah. But, like, it's got a pretty good atmosphere, and it's kind of creepy, and we only played the first one all the way through. Eric did, and I was there with him. Mm-hmm. And then we started one of the other ones, but we're kind of like, well, if these all tie together, like, and people who are watching this, we don't want to spoil the whole game or whatever, so we quit partway into like one of the other ones. But I liked what I saw of it with him playing it, and it was on sale for like $3 as well, so I grabbed that up. And I foolishly thought Cuphead might be on sale, but
I saw that. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Badly.
Oh, and friend of the site, friend of the stream, friend of the everything, Jonathan, aka False Logic, gifted me a copy of Spelunky because it was on my wish list, and I still hadn't bought it because everybody else I know owns Spelunky, and so whenever we got together,
is so fucking good, and you seem like a guy that would like that game.
I do, but like whenever it was a thing where like I would hang out with Eric and we would play Spelunky, or I would like, you know what I mean? Like, and I just was like, I actually think I had the original free version. I think I had at one point. Cause remember it first came out, it was a free, it looked at a different graphical style and everything. It was like a free download. Before it got the cartoon style makeover and everything. So I played that version, I think. And then I played the newer version with Eric a lot and with other people, and just never really pulled the trigger on owning my own copy, but it was on my wish list because, that's how you find out when games are on sale. That's what, it's because on days like today, you get an email that says like 17 of the games on your wish list are on sale.
And I went, a sale must have started.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so I just skimmed this Rock Paper Shotgun review of Stories Untold.
Yeah.
And they highly recommend it. And after the first paragraph, they say, if you trust me and want to know as little as possible, which might be good in this case, just go buy it.
Just go buy it. So are you just going to go buy it?
But it says it's very smart. Yeah, I think I am, because it looks really good.
And like I said, it's like $3 or whatever.
Yep.
I almost bought Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, but
I'm really sad that Resident Evil 7 wasn't just a bit cheaper.
I mean, it's like 50% off, isn't it?
It is, but it's still $30, and I just I have enough other games that I bought for like $3 in the sale.
Right.
That I'm like, it's probably going to be on sale.
I would also hold off until the gold edition comes out, like next month, and then when that's on sale, like in like the spring Steam sale, that's probably like the time to move on that. Because the gold edition comes with all the DLC for free, and actually there is a couple of things in the DLC for Resident Evil 7 that are fantastic.
Like what?
there's like a self-contained story where you play as one of the sort of like the first. Did you play the demo of 7 at all?
Nope.
Okay, so the demo and one of the early sequences in the full game is you are you're the cameraman in a TV news crew doing like a ghost hunters, type show. Yeah. And basically like things go completely tits up for them because that's the nature of how Resident Evil games works. But you never find out what happened to the guy you play. Like one of the guys definitely gets killed because you see it happen, and then the other guy, I don't remember, something else happens to him. And then the guy that you're playing as, though, like he gets knocked out by one of the family members, but like you never know what happens to him. Well, in the DLC, in one of the DLCs, you play as him in like a self-contained story where he's been chained up in a bedroom, which is a bedroom you later it's a room that you go through later as Ethan. But when you're playing as this guy, you have to do this whole puzzle of like, you have to figure out a way to escape, but that the mother of the family is going to come back periodically. So it's like making sure you leave everything as it was before you get back in the bed before she comes back.
Interesting.
So that she doesn't catch you trying to escape, and like figuring out the puzzles of like where are these things that I need to like figure out how to get out of here. And that's like it's
that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
actually.
There's no combat whatsoever. It's all puzzle solving, which is dope. And then there was another piece of DLC that there's a thing called Ethan Must Die, which is like a special map, kind of like it's the same map, but you take a different route through the house, and like it's like a one life, one try thing. It's super hard though, so like I never got to the end of it, but I played a lot of it because I was like enjoying it. But I also really liked that game. Like if you didn't like the combat or didn't love the game as much as I did, that might not do much for you. But there's a thing that like explains what happened to the family, where you play as one of the daughters, right before the inciting incident happens.
Okay.
And that's pretty decent, but like the one where you play as the dude trapped in the bedroom and have to escape is like that's the one DLC that I would say was like super good. And since the gold edition is going to have all that shit for free anyways and probably be cheaper than the original version, and you have a bunch of games to play between now and then, like I would just wait and go with that.
Right.
Because then even if you don't play like some of the other, because there's like some sort of mercenaries-ish type of stuff, but not as fun as mercenaries because there's not like different characters with different weapon loadouts and stuff. That's like just okay. It feels very much like, this is...
I was never super into mercenaries.
Oh man, Resident Evil 4 and 5, I played the shit out of mercenaries.
I know a lot of people did, but like I just don't play Resident Evil games for like score attack kind of like it's just a different vibe from what I'm.
Yeah, I mean that's true,
but I do get like in and of itself that was good.
But man, in Resident Evil 4, when you can take Hunk and just like neck snap your way through a whole crowd of Ganados, like man, that is so awesome.
That was always really good.
Or like when you're Wesker and you can just like punch people and they explode and stuff, like that's pretty good. Anyways, it is now 11:15, so I'm gonna shut the stream down. Thanks everybody for hanging out watching. Did anybody else post anything in the chat before I?
No.
All right, well thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube later, check out the other stuff on the channel. All of the Extra Life stuff that is going to go up on the YouTube channel should be up by the end of this holiday weekend. So, check that stuff out too if you like this stuff, because that's more of this stuff writ large with all of us in a room together. Sometimes it's us like falling asleep right in front of your very eyes.
Sometimes it's good.
Yeah, sometimes it's good though. Have a good night, everybody.